And as the Federal Aviation Administration continues to reduce restrictions on drones, pilots around the nation are reporting a surge in near collisions. A report released today by the FAA shows that since June 1st, 25 incidents when small drones came dangerously close to crashing into a larger aircraft have been reported by pilots and air traffic controllers. The report could open dialogue over the dangers of drones among air traffic. Until today, the FAA had only publicly reported one near collision. Drones suffer from the image they've earned as a valuable weapon of war on terror.
But the armed drones used by the military are very different than the type local law enforcement is now considering using. Tonight, only on News 3, reporter Dave Delozier examines a tool that law enforcement could save lives and one that critics fear could intrude on lives.
Charlie 4, Badger Road.
For many years, the tools of law enforcement have remained largely the same.
A radio, a couple set of handcuffs, body armor, and a gun.
But that is about to change.
It's truly a tool to assess all situations.
Weighing less than 5 pounds, drone technology or unmanned aerial vehicles are taking law enforcement to a whole new place.
By having the ability to get eyes on something, either a building or an incident from a safe distance, that could mean life or death.
Last year, the Wisconsin State Legislature passed a law governing drone use by law enforcement. Now several agencies are giving it a long, hard look.
There have been multiple who have expressed interest in it. I think they're all kind of looking at each other like who's going to be the first one to dive into it.
To prepare for that, Madison College is developing a training program for law enforcement use of unmanned aerial vehicles. Be it a hostage situation, a search and rescue, or a fire, they have the ability to show police and firefighters what they can't see from the ground.
I see that this is a tool that can be used for search and rescue, for mapping, for accident reconstructions, for tactical planning.
And costing only $1,300 each, they can not only save lives, they save money.
If you go to a large metropolitan agency, an unmanned aerial vehicle can easily replace a multi-million-dollar helicopter.
Wisconsin's law allows police and firefighters to use unmanned aerial vehicles under certain conditions.
Police officers are not going to be trained to fly over neighborhoods and just randomly look for things.
And our experience in the past has been that law enforcement, even when well-intentioned, if you give them an inch, they'll take a yard.
The ACLU of Wisconsin is concerned that the state law is written too broadly. While it requires a search warrant to collect evidence using a drone, there are also, in the opinion of the ACLU, too many exceptions in the law where the warrant is not needed.
And remember, law enforcement are supposed to protect and serve us. They're not supposed to be Big Brother and watch over us from the skies.
And because of that, they believe the use of unmanned aerial vehicles will eventually end up in court.
I'm sure it will be. You know, you can bet your bottom dollar.
There's a lot of pressure on law enforcement right now to demilitarize and not give a very hardcore image.
Which is why Madison College plans to not only teach police officers how to fly one of these, but when and why.
There is a concern about the public perception, and that's a concern by Madison College as well. And that is why we feel that to provide the safe and ethical training on devices and where it cannot be used.
One day, within the next 5 years.
Most agencies, mid-size metropolitan or suburban agencies are going to have these.
The next generation of law enforcement equipment will be watching from high above, while critics watch it from below.
We shouldn't use the technology to do something just because we can do it.
Well, anytime you can have a device that saves a life, whether that's the life of a police officer or a civilian, I think that every police chief or sheriff needs to examine that device.
In Wisconsin Dells, this is Dave Delozier, WISC News 3.
The FAA also places restrictions on the use of drones by law enforcement. They cannot weigh more than 5 pounds and must be flown below a 400-foot ceiling. The drones also may not be flown at night.